reflection has been going on, and a lot of realizations as well. Many having to do with the whole childhood trauma and not realizing how your parents do have an influence on you, especially when it comes to your relationships. Because growing up, you didn't realize like that the way that they raised you was gonna impact you. And I say it because you think you know so much until you're like in a relationship and all those childhood traumas and wounds show up and flare up. And it reminds you as to like, damn, there's still like a lot of healing and growing having to be done. And at times it does suck and it feels discouraging, but it's also another opportunity for you to like realize like, well, I still got time to like heal this stuff. And if you do plan on having family, well, another better way of like addressing it right in the moment. And I know for some of y'all, whenever you guys are in relationships and stuff like that, and you're facing through that, it comes as a challenge, like a whole big resistance, because you're not used to that stuff. You're used to the programming of like not having to talk about things, avoiding things, going things about it in a different way. And whenever you're faced with the opposite, you're just like, well, why do I have to? What's wrong with this, the way that I've been doing this? And it puts it really into question like, oh, I have to heal this. Or you even have to ask yourself like, have I really gone this comfortable with being this certain way, and that's why I'm not willing or open to like yet changing that said behavior? Like, what is it within me that doesn't want to change that aspect about myself? Why do I feel so comfortable with it? Have I already accepted myself as this person doing this behavior? And it's questions like that we should be really asking it ourselves. And trust me, like, it takes me a minute to like learn things and actually realize like, oh, that the behavior that I'm doing is not the best. And the first card that I pulled as I'm driving, multitasking, is Capricorn. So having rational steps, building that foundation, building that structure, creating like realistic ass steps into accomplishing your goals, addressing yourself, having that self-discipline, taking care of yourself. Learning how to embody yourself in the most authentic way, but in a structured way as well. What I mean with that is like having boundaries, being disciplined with yourself, but yet still being authentic to you. And those are in the way that you move forward in this life. How are you being productive? How are you like taking the extra steps every day into creating that into your reality? And a lot of it has to do with letting go, surrendering. By you surrendering, you're admitting your defeat. But by admitting that you're in like your defeat, doesn't mean that you've actually lost. You're just admitting that right now, it's time for you to just like stop putting so much resistance onto whatever you're dealing with right now. So if you're going through like a financial situation, it is time to just let that shit go. Stop worrying about it. Stop putting a lot of attention to it. Because wherever you put your attention to, energy goes. So the more you're going to keep seeing of it, because your focus is on there. Now if you start focusing on how much you already have and how much wealth you already have, you're going to start seeing the changes in like, oh, I actually do have this much. Oh, I actually have really great people around me. Oh, my life is really not that miserable. Oh, I actually have friends. And it's small stuff like that I'm like referring to. It's a lot, guys. It's a lot of growth going on, a lot of transformations and addressing those traumas. And you know, like, sometimes we don't even realize that we're repeating things until we are faced with somebody else with a different backstory. So that's why it's always great and like refreshing whenever you're around different kind of people, because it gives you a different perspective and outlook. It makes you reflect back on yourself and be like, oh, not everybody grew up the same way that I did. Let's see. Sorry about the yawn. Don't get on to me about that. The next card that I pulled was, what's it called? Feeling restricted whenever it comes to like disciplining yourself. But another thing that already just popped in my head is like maybe you are associating that discipline that you're receiving as in like in a negative light because growing up or people around you when it came to disciplining you, like they didn't discipline you like in a proper way. It could have been through trauma, through bullying. I'm not seeing very positive things when it comes to this, honestly. But I'm gotta keep it real with you guys. But they want you to face that stuff. Face the fact that the way that you feel disciplined or the way that you got disciplined back then was unfair to you. As well as now that you are at the time of like learning how to discipline yourself, take it as in a way and separate yourself from like the past version of what discipline means to you and actually like say it as a positive way that this is teaching you how to take care of yourself and learning how to work hard for yourself. So that way you can enjoy the fruits of your labor and start having fun, enjoying life once more. But you can start having fun as long as you're establishing those like proper foundations and boundaries. Because without them, things are gonna crumble, things are not gonna last. You're gonna be like always like having to start over. And what you really want is something long lasting, something that's actually gonna stay and actually stick put. And it's all having to do with nurturing yourself, taking care of yourself, and nurturing the foundations and the boundaries that you have put into place for both yourself and others, and actually stand on it. Because this is just another form of you expressing yourself and showing your true authentic self, showing yourself as a person who you're meant to be. This is another form of you like sticking up for yourself and advocating for yourself. You have to look at this like with confidence and bravery. It's sometimes scary and you might feel uncomfortable when it comes to confrontation or defending yourself or advocating for yourself. Like you might feel intimidated even voicing that stuff out because maybe back then whenever you actually advocate for yourself, you were shunned down. You were shut down on it. You weren't accepted with open arms, which could have probably created this defensiveness, this big walls where you're just like, fuck this. Fuck this. And this is part of your spiritual growth. This is part of the spiritual journey that you're going through. Learning how to advocate for yourself in a respectful manner with the proper boundaries and being disciplined with yourself without having to associate discipline with the toxicity from back then and associate that discipline as a proper way of creating your foundation and building something for yourself. It's a building block for you, not for anybody else. It's for you. And if you don't build it, you're not going to create that happy-go-lucky life. You're just going to keep creating like this foundation that's going to keep crumbling, and you're going to have to start all over again and again and again and again. And you're just going to be chasing your own freaking tail, 933. And you're just going to be exhausted, wondering, well, why am I not going places? Why am I not doing this and that? And it's because a lot has to do with you having to take care of yourself. You setting the tone. You showing the universe that like, I actually got this. I'm actually disciplining myself. I'm actually disciplining others. I'm actually setting my goals. I'm actually doing this. I'm actually putting everything into work. This is how I'm going about it. I'm letting go of control. I am finally accepting my faith. I am finally accepting where I'm at right now. But because I already accepted where I'm at right now, I know what extra steps I have to do in order for me to reach the other end of it. So being realistic with yourself about that as well. Growth! I'm on point. But anyways, guys, have a great rest of your day. I hope this message like resonated, and I really wish you guys luck in y'all's healing journey. And let me know down in the comments what you guys have to say about this. Like, this really has to do a lot with having to grow and heal, and I'm here for it. And I'm happy at the fact that I was able to channel this, because I was like in a whole rush for work. No cap, no lies, but that was it, guys. But anyways, really sit down with yourself and have those reflection moments. You really don't realize how much trauma really actually lingers onto you and comes out in a toxic way. So take it as you wish, and whatever doesn't, let it out the window. Bye, guys.